Hello everybody, we got a new project here. This is a Pocket Spectrum Doodlebug that I traded my dad some rolling stock for. I have no idea if it runs. The roof has a little bit of a scorch mark for where the headlight was, and that caused issues. One thing that I do know, it does not have DCC. So what we're going to do is we're going to install DCC in this today and hopefully make it a good runner. So let's get into that. Alright, so here we have it upside down. Here are the test leads just to make sure it works. These are hooked up to a old Tyco controller, I believe. And what you do to make sure these have power is you can put them together, and if they spark, they have power. So we're gonna... Alright, so it does run. I hear a bit of clicking, so the front axle set has a crack in one of its gears. Let's try the rear set. Alright, so the rear set's gonna need some contact work. Well, let's get it open then. And from what I remember, we need 4 screwdrivers to hold at different points of the shell. So it's one here to get the back off, I believe. A bit further down it's gotta be. I've never opened this before, so I have no idea how to get this off. I did watch a video on how to just pry it off. So in order to do that, the windows have to detach from the main body. Now this could cause like stress or something if the shell and cause stuff to crack, but that shouldn't be a problem with what we're just doing here. How about the front? That loose. Put it here. Oh, there we go. Now in this case, a bunch of windows fell out, but that shouldn't be a problem. You just set those to the side. And this actually has an 8-pin decoder, or 8-pin socket. We're gonna set this off to the side later for cosmetic repairs. This actually has an 8-pin socket, which is great because I don't have to solder anything up. That is amazing. So, got things to do. Got to replace the cover back here for Katie. Fix the contacts and clean the wheels on the rear truck. And do some stuff with the main truck at the front, which is driven by a massive motor with a flywheel. So let's get started on that. Right now, how does this come out of here? If you look right down there, there's 2 little clips that just snap out, maybe. So let's try and get that. This might take a little bit of work. How does that come out of here? How's that out in? It's a better question. That even by wire? No. I think I just pushed out, and this whole section should come out. Oh, I see now. So there's little tabs up here that all the pivot. You gotta push those in and then put them out. And if you do that, it should drop down. If it would, just tell me to get. Or sometimes it just doesn't like you doing anything with it. Hey, that's the joy of working on your models. So I'll do this part off camera real quick. Alright. We got it out. Here's the drive shaft. Now this is a single truck drive. It's similar to the truck, similar design to the Spectrum 44 tonners, which I'll show you the one I recently bought in another video when I DCC installed that. But for now, what we're going to do is we're going to take this completely apart and just clean out all the gunk and stuff in it, re-lubricate it, clean all the contacts with a bright boy, and go from there. Why do I get the feeling that the previous owner decided to put a little CA in here? So I just want to fall off. Because that's really what it looks like right now. Oh. There we go. Holy cow, it's got a lot of oil and grease and yuck. Look at that. Alright, so we're going to take the wheels out. And first I'm going to go through here with a paper towel to get all the big chunks and stuff out. Then I'll go through with a Q-tip. In the meantime, we're going to figure out how to get this thing apart. It's only my clips. Or is that a pin? Oh. Might have just... Come on, get in there. This thing does not want to come apart. I know I'm probably going to regret this, but I don't think I'm able to get in here without some major tools. Because it's a smaller screwdriver, I could use this. Hold that, pry. Alright, I'm going to do this off camera. This is going to take a little bit. Alright, so I got the truck open. Turns out I'm stupid, and this piece that holds the truck onto the frame also holds the truck together. So, yeah. And everything in here is filthy. So, I'm going to go clean all this up with like a toothbrush, paper towel, Q-tips, and stuff. And I'll be right back. Alright, we got all the parts cleaned up. Let's get reassembled. Alright, before we seal this whole thing up, I'm going to lubricate it with a little bit of Libel 102, which of course is coated and lubricated again because I keep forgetting to clean out that darn glass bottle. Huh. Just reattach that and pretend it doesn't exist. Alright, a little bit there. You don't want too much because then it will seep in and cause all sorts of problems. Alright, that should be enough. Let's put this to the side for now. And I'll clean the wheels once the whole drive is put back together. But quickly put that back together. Get the grease all moved around in there. Now let's put the wheels back in. And since this does not pick up from the trucks, but from the truck frame, we are going to put a little bit of bug grease here, here, just to keep it from squeaking, and a little bit on truck gears. Alright. Spin that. Now we're gonna put this piece that holds the truck to the body back on. If I can get it on there. This isn't the most modern or best Doodlebug out there, but for my purposes and for the project I want to do for this little thing, it suits it. And one day in the very distant future, I want to see if I could turn this into the Pennsylvania Road Streamline Doodlebug. Which I know, good luck with that. But you never know, one day that dream could come to fruition. So let's get drive shaft, attempt to put it back in there. Alright, that's back in. Reinstall all of this with the drive. Come on, you. Sorry if y'all can't see this too well, but the whole thing at the freaking drive shaft is not cooperating too well. No. Okay, put that in there. Alright. So now that's done, take your needle nose, pinch these. I assume you pinch these two together to get them back in there. Of course, all of this violates the warranty that Bachman gives you, but that warranty is probably 30 years out of date by now. Uh-oh. I did not get that drive shaft in properly. Alright, I'm going to do this part off camera. This is going to be really freaking difficult. Alright, truck's back in. And before we put the decoder in, we're just going to test to make sure everything works and to get the gear and lubricant stuff sorted. Uh-oh. That ain't good. It appears that somewhere I have shorted this thing. Oh, no. How'd I do that? Oh, shoot. I know what I did. I did not do something properly. That caused, I did not look at how the wheels are on both sides. So you got one negative, you got one insulated, and one non-insulated wheel on both sides. So if we look at how the rear truck is set up, we can just go based on that. So the engineer's side is the side that needs the insulation. That is something I commonly overlook, and it's usually the problem with most shorts. And heck, I even had that on a freight car from Atlas that I had to fix. Right. Pivots freely. Alright, now let's test it. Power on the lines. Crap. Now what's your issue? Negative to negative. That's right. What the? Oh. I'm gonna guess I did something wrong with that gear. Because that's not supposed to be like that. Alright, now let's test and see. Why is nothing happening? Come on, you. Oh, I'm stupid. Alright, something's going wrong. I'll be right back. I gotta figure this out. Alright, this took way longer than I would like it to. Finally found the short. Contacts suck. Alright. There was a contact in here that was a little bit out of place. It was just barely touching the frame. But now I got it working. So that's fine. And if I get the leads, hook up power directly to the motor. Oh, sorry about that. The motor's runs perfectly fine. Besides a little bit of machine gun fire, which I don't think you are going to be able to hear anyway. Alright. Now on to the next step. Taking this back truck apart to just give it a little bit of oil and fiddle with the contacts a little bit. Alright, I'll be right back. I gotta figure out how to get this off. Alright, that was simple. Just a little plate here. And these are the wheels. Filthy, I know. Let's get the paper towel. Clean them up a little bit. Make sure there's no dirt or anything on the spots where the wheels contact the rails, or the thing where the contacts, yeah, whatever they're called. And then take a Q-tip, sort of brush off any dirt or anything like that that might have gotten stuck on there. And take a small flathead, sort of push out the contacts a little bit so that way they make better conductivity with the wheels. And now we're just gonna clean these. These cannot be cleaned these cannot be cleaned automatically with the rotation of the motor. These have to be cleaned manually, which takes forever. Alright, wheel set one down. Let's get to the second. Alright, wheel set two down. Let's start reassembling the truck. And make sure we don't have any contact issues this time. I'm gonna have a pair of needle nose right here. That one goes in like that. This one goes in like that. Alright, just like last time, a little bit of the belt grease to keep them squeaking. Just grab a little bit of hair. And alright, now we have power truck, trailing truck all done, except we gotta do the part that I hate the most, which involves putting a bright boy on moving wheels. I don't particularly hate it as much as others, but I still don't like it, because it could cause the gear to slip, which would have me reopen the entire drive. Just get that ready. All right. Oh yeah, now you can definitely hear the machine gun fire. Alright, wheels are cleaned. Now it's time to move on to the next step. Installing a decoder. I bought this one at the Strasbourg hobby shop today, right after I saw 9D do an excursion train. Well, freight run. So, tiny little thing. And get this. This is all this programming stuff for later. But just make sure you exact the blades. Have a cap on them when you're not using them. So, let's flip this over. Carefully pull out the 8-pin plug. And insert new pin. It's a little loose, but it'll still do. So, let's take it over to the track real quick for a quick test run. Alright, moment of truth. The cabin light's on, and it works. Can't hear the thumping from the motor. Back and forth. Alright, let's get the body shell back on. Alright, before we reinstall the body shell, gotta figure out this coupler real quick. So, we're gonna get Phillips. I hope this Phillips head's small enough for this. Take that off. As you can see, you have the remains of the worst coupler ever designed. Because the Katie's, they're made out of metal, they're reliable, they're tough, they look nice. And the horn hooks, they're made out of plastic, but they're not meant to look nice, they're meant to be reliable, to which they are. Bachmann McHenry couplers are neither. So, yeah, I don't like McHenry's. They're kind of bad. So, which is why I'm replacing them with Katie's. Put one in there. Is this? And sometimes you gotta really shove them because some Bachmans don't really like Katie couplers. What you want to do while replacing a coupler is to put it in just tight enough that it doesn't wiggle up and down, but loose enough that it can pivot back and forth with the spring, to which this one can. So now let's move on to fixing some details on the Doodlebug's body, and then we can put it all back together and see how it runs. No, put a dab of glue on there because the headlight does not sit properly inside. Sorry, not the headlight. Yeah, I guess it would be considered the headlight. Alright. Got that done. That should be it. So, let's move on to installing the body shell. We're just gotta put these windows in, and we should be ready. These windows do not like to play nice. Alright, all the windows are in. Back on you go. Make sure no wires get caught in between the shell and the frame, because that could cause some stuff on the frame to become frayed, or some stuff, the wiring to become frayed, and then you have a short circuit, or it could just make the body shell pop out, and it would look ugly. Uh-oh. Oh, never mind. The decoder quite properly. Not the decoder. Something else. Now, if you're watching this video for actual advice on how to rebuild or service one of these, good luck following. And she's ready for a test run. Take her back over to the track and see how she runs. Alright, we got her all set up back on the track. Praying this works, because I really don't want to open this engine up again. Hey, it's working. Sounds like an old proto with cracked gears, but it's working. And I'm going to send it for a couple laps around the layout. And I hope you all enjoy. Stay tuned. Thank you all for watching till the end. As always, remember to like, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.